Hi there, I'm Sumit Bansal, and in this video I'm going to show you something that will make you a lot more efficient in Excel. That's the paste special options. Now you already probably know how to do copy paste in Excel, but with paste special you can copy anything and then choose what you want to paste. Maybe you just want to paste formulas or just the values or just the formatting. So in this video I'm going to show you everything that you need to know about paste special and the awesome things you can do with it. So let's get started. Before I show you the paste special options, let me quickly tell you how to access it. So here I have this data, and if I copy this data, so I select it and I use Control C to copy it, and then I go to the cell where I want to paste it. I have three ways to get the paste special dialog box or paste special options. The first is a keyboard shortcut, and this according to me is the best and the fastest way to use it. And the keyboard shortcut is Alt ES. So you first press the Alt key, then the E key, then the S key, and this opens the paste special dialog box. Now here you have all the options that are available to you, and I'm going to go through each of these options in detail. The second way to get the paste special option is by right clicking on the cell where you want to paste the data, and then you will see paste options where you have these icons. Now each of these icons would represent one of the options in the dialog box, and then you also have this paste special link where if you click on it, it again opens the same paste special dialog box. And you can also go to the home tab, and here in the clipboard group you have the paste option, and when you expand the options you'll see all these options here, and you also see the paste special link where if you click on it, it again opens the same paste special dialog box. Now a lot of people also use this keyboard shortcut Control Alt V, and that also opens up the same paste special dialog box, but I think Alt ES is a lot faster. Now let's go through each of these options and see what you can do with paste special. One of the most useful things you can do with paste special is copy your data and then only paste the values without any formatting, without any formulas. So let me show you. Here I have this data, and you can see there is formatting, there are borders, there is this cell where I have a formula. And when I copy this, so I select this data, I copy this by using Control C, and if I paste it anywhere, it is going to copy and paste everything including the formatting and the formulas. Now if I do not want that, I can select this data, copy it, come here and then use the keyboard shortcut Alt ES, so that opens the paste special dialog box, and here I can choose the values option and then click OK. And when I do that, it only pastes the values, so the formatting is gone, the formulas are not there. You can check here, the formulas have been converted into values, and I only get the data without anything. So if you just want the values, you can use this. If you want to do this just by using keyboard shortcut, you can select the cell where you want to paste this data, then use the keyboard shortcut Alt ESV. So when you press the V key, it selects the values option, and then you can hit enter, and it is going to again give you the same thing. Now if you're using Excel with Microsoft 365, there is a new keyboard shortcut that you can use, which is Control Shift V. So you hold the Control and the Shift key and then press the V key, and that also gives you only the values and strips everything else, which is the formatting and the formulas and borders and everything. So if you're using this new Excel, you can use this keyboard shortcut, else you can use the paste special option where you can use Alt ES and then use the V key to select values and then click OK or press enter. Another thing you can do is, if you want to use your mouse, or if you're more comfortable with your mouse, you select the data, copy the data, then come to the cell where you want to paste it, right click, and then you have this icon here which shows a clipboard with 1, 2, 3. This is the option to paste as values, so you can also click on it and it will also give you only the values. So if you only want to copy the formatting, let me show you how to do that. So here I have this data and I have formatted it. So there is a cell color, there are borders. Now if I copy this and I come to this cell, let's say cell E1, and I want to paste it here, I would use the keyboard shortcut Alt ES. It opens the paste special dialog box. Now I can manually select the formats option, or I can press the T key, which selects the formats option here, and then I can click OK, or I can hit enter, and it is going to give me the formatting. And you can see that it is giving me the cell color, it is giving me the border. If there is any other kind of formatting, let's say conditional formatting, even that would be carry forwarded, but you do not get the values. So the values are not copied, but everything else which is there in the formatting gets copied. Now this could be useful when you already have a well formatted worksheet and you want to copy the formatting so that you don't have to do it again in a new worksheet, but don't want to copy the values. Now let me show you how to copy the values and the formulas, but nothing else. So here I have this data and I have a formula in column C. So I would select all this data, copy this by using Control C. Then I would come to the cell where I want to paste it, open the paste special dialog box by using Alt ES. And here I would select the formulas option. You can also press the F key to select it using a keyboard shortcut. And then now when I click OK, it gives me only the values and the formula. So you can see it is giving me static values where there were static values, but where there are formulas, it would give me the formula and it would automatically adjust the references. For example, in this case, you can see that this formula refers to column B, but if I check this formula, it automatically adjusted the reference and it now refers to column F. So if you are using relative references, these would automatically adjust. If you're using absolute references, those would remain as is. So here I have this data where I have applied custom formatting on this column, which is the sales target column. So I selected the accounting format and I removed the decimal part. Now I want to copy this data, but if I copy and paste it regular, Control-C, Control-V is going to copy paste everything. And if I only paste values, then I would lose the number formatting. So if I want the number formatting, I can do that as well. So let me copy this data. Then I would come here, use Alt-ES, and you'll see I have these two options, values and number formats and formulas and number formats. So if you just want the values, you select this option, click OK. So it only gives you the values and the number formats in any of the cells. So in this case, you can see that the number format is preserved. If you want to get the formula as well, then I'll go back. So copy this data and come here, use Alt-ES to open the paste special dialog box and choose this option, which is formulas and number formats. So now when I click OK, it gives me the values, which in case there were static values in the original data set, those would come over as is. If there are formulas, those would come over as well. And if there is any cell formatting, number formatting applied, then that would also be copied. Now this is a very useful use case of using paste special where you can copy and paste column width. So here I have this data, and let's say if I copy this data and I paste it here, so I use Control-V, you can see it copy and pastes everything including formatting and formula and values, but it does not copy paste the column width. So now if I want to get the column width over this data, I can use the paste special keyboard shortcut, which is Alt-ES, and now I can select the column widths option and then click OK. And you can see now it has copy pasted column widths over this pasted data that I have. Now if you just want column width, you do not want the data, so you can do that as well. So let me remove this. Actually, let me press Control-Z. So let me copy this data, and let's say I just want column width. I don't want formatting, I don't want values. So I would open the paste special dialog box, select column widths option and then click OK. So it only gives me the column widths, but it doesn't give me anything. So if you want multiple things, if you want, let's say, values and column width, you first paste values, then you paste column widths. Or if you want formatting and column width, you first paste formatting and then you paste column width. Paste special also allows you to quickly copy and paste notes and comments in your data set. So here I have this data set. Here you can see I have these notes and I also have this comment here. Now, if I just want to copy notes and comments, I can do that. So I can copy this entire data, but then only paste the notes and the comments. For example, this data is here, but I have a slightly modified version of this data. So I don't want the values, I don't want the formatting, but I do still need to retain the comments and the notes. So I can select this data, then use Alt-ES to open the paste special dialog box. And here I have this option comments and notes. And now when I click OK, it will only paste the comments and notes. So those would come, but the values, the formatting and the formula would remain as is. Now there is no way for you to only copy comments or only copy notes. If you have a mix of comments and notes, everything would be copied and pasted. Paste special also allows you to only copy paste data validation from a cell into another cell or a range of cells. For example, here I have this data and in column B I have these drop down lists. Now I want to copy this drop down list and let's say I want to apply it on this range. Now if I copy and paste it like a regular Control-C, Control-V, it will also carry forward all the formatting and all the values that are already there. But I just want the drop down list. So in this case, I would select these range of cells in which I want to paste the data validation, then use Alt-ES to open the paste special dialog box. And here I have the validation option. And then when I click OK, you can see it has now just given me the drop down list without any formatting, without anything. So if you want to quickly copy drop down lists or other data validation rules, you can also do that with paste special. So here I have this data and let's call this file the source file. Now in this file, I have applied some theme settings. So if you go to the page layout tab, you will notice that there is a themes option and where you can change these different themes. You can apply different colors. For example, if I choose this theme, then everything changes and this theme has a specific color and specific font that is being taken up by the entire workbook. Now, if I copy this data and I paste it in some other file, let's call this the destination file, see what happens. When I copy and paste it, so simple control V, you'll see that the theme settings have not come with the copied data, because this file, the destination file, has its own theme settings. So the previous source file settings have not been copied. Now, if I don't want this, for example, let's say if I want to keep this setting as is, the formatting as is, what I can do is go to this file, and instead of using a Control C Control V, I would open the paste special dialog box, and here I have this option called all using source theme. So what this does is it is going to paste the data, but it will keep the settings that were there in the source file. See what happens when I click OK? It keeps the formatting as is. So if you're working with different files and they have different brand settings, different theme settings, and you want to copy paste data from one file to another while retaining the formatting of the source file, you can use this option. Now let's say you want to copy and paste everything except the borders. There is an option to do this. So here I'm going to copy this data, Control C. I would come to this cell, and now when I use Alt ES, it opens this paste special dialog box, and here I have this option, all except borders, which means all the values, all the cell highlights, all the formulas are going to be pasted except the borders. See what happens when I click OK? Everything comes with the formulas and everything except the borders. Now this is an interesting use case. Here I have this data where I have conditional formatting applied, where only those rows are highlighted where the sales target value is less than 100,000. And you can go to the conditional formatting option, and you can see I have this conditional formatting rule applied. And similarly, I have this data, which is, let's say, a revised version of the data on the left, where I have revised this data and applied a new conditional formatting where it highlights all the rows where the sales value is more than $750,000. So you can see I have this rule applied here. Now, if I want to copy this data and paste it over this data, if I just use a Control C Control V, see what happens? It is going to replace everything, including the original conditional formatting that was applied on that data. So that is removed, and everything on this copy data comes here in the data that I've pasted. Now I do not want that. I want to update this data, which means I want to copy and paste the values. I want to copy and paste the formatting and everything, but I want to retain the conditional formatting that is there in this data set. So to do that, I'm going to copy this data, then come here, then use Alt ES to open the paste special dialog box. And here I have this option called all merging conditional formats. Now this option will only become available when you copy the data that has conditional formatting. And now when I click OK, see what happens? It has retained the conditional formatting which was applied already on this data set, and it has copied everything from this data set over here. So while this is an edge case and not everyone may use this, but if you are working with data sets where there is conditional formatting involved and you want to copy data over one another and retain conditional formatting, you can use this. Not many people know this, but you can also do some calculation using paste special. So here I have this data where I have these sales targets, and let's say I want to increase the sales target by 10%. Now obviously one way to do this is by using a simple formula. So you can come here and you can use the formula, which is 1.1. So you multiply this by 1.1 and it gives you this value, and you can drag this down. But you can also do this using paste special. Now in most cases it would make sense to use a formula, but in some cases paste special may also be helpful. So let's see how to do that. So to use paste special, what I'm going to do is first put the value that I want to multiply this column with in a cell. So here I have a blank cell. I would put 1.1 in here. So 1.1 means if I multiply this by any value in the sales target, it would increment the sales target by 10%. So I would now come here, copy this cell. Now select this entire column and then use Alt ES to open the paste special dialog box. And here you can see I have another category of options called operation. And within operation, the default is none. So when I was choosing all these options in the paste category, the operation was not happening. It was chosen as none. But I can choose to do add, subtract, multiply, and divide operations. So in this case, I want to do a multiply operation. And now when I click OK, you can see it has multiplied this data, and I have got the new data, and it is not a formula. These are static values. So this is a one-time operation. It copies this data, pastes it in such a way that this value, the value in cell D1, is multiplied by all the cells you selected, and there is no formula. So if you do not have this additional step of removing the formula. Now you will notice that one thing has happened. My borders have gone away because when I copied this and I pasted it over this, it also copied the formatting. So let's do Control Z to get the original data back. Now let's copy this, and now I'm only going to multiply this with the value, but I would retain the formatting. To do that, I'm again going to use Alt ES to open the paste special dialog box. Here I'm going to paste values only, and I'm going to use operation as multiply. So you can choose any one option from the paste category, and you can choose one in the operation category. Now when I click OK, you can see it has retained the formatting, only pasted the values, and the multiplication is done. Now here is another interesting use case you can do. So let's get the original data back, and let's say you want 3 separate columns, one with sales target which is increased by 10%, then 20%, then 30%, and you can do that as well with this. So to do that, I'm going to put 1.2 here, 1.1 here, and 1.3 here. And now let's do this. Let's copy this and put it here. So now I have these 3 columns, and I want to have the sales target increased by 10% for column B, 20% for column C, and 30% for column D. So I would just copy these values, then come here, select this range, use Alt ES, then select values, select multiply, and see what happens. When I click OK, it automatically does the calculation, and I only get static value, so there is no formula. So here it has increased the value by 10%. This has been increased by 20% because this column was multiplied by this, and this column, the sales target, has been increased by 30% because it was multiplied by 1.3. So if you want to do simple multiplication, addition, subtraction, or division, you can also do this with paste special. I've seen some financial modelers use this where they need to quickly adjust the values and add, let's say, a specific value to the entire column. You can use the addition operator in that case. You can also transpose your data when you're using paste special to paste it. And I know there is a transpose function in Excel, but there is a difference. So let me show you. If I use the transpose function and I select this entire data, it will give me the transposed version of this data, but there is no formatting, and this is a formula. So you will have to change the formula and maybe convert it into values if you do not want the formula. But with paste special, you can paste anything, be it the value, be it the formatting, be it everything, and also transpose it. So let me show you how it works. So in this case, let me copy this data. Now I would come to this cell, use Alt ES to open the paste special dialog box. And here I can check this option called transpose. Now when you check this option, whatever paste option you are using, it will also be transposed. For example, in this case, all is automatically selected by default. So if I click OK, it copies and pastes everything, but it transposes this data. Now let's say you don't want to get everything, you just want to get values. So you copy this data, come here, Alt ES, you select values, and you select transpose, and it will only transpose the values. Similarly, if you only want to transpose the formatting, you can do that. So you select only formats, then click on transpose, and then click OK. So anything that you can paste with paste special can also be transposed if you just check that transpose option. Now this is another interesting use case. Here I have this data where I have all these names and their sales target, and let's say I've done some revision, so I have revised the sales target for some of these people. Now I want to replace the original ones with the revised one in this list, but for those names where there is no sales target revision, I don't want the original one to go away. So if I copy this data and I paste it here, you'll see that it also copies the blank cell. So I lose my data, and I don't want that. So you can do this by using a paste special option. So I would copy this data, come here, then I would use Alt ES to open the paste special dialog box. And here you have this option of skip blanks. So when you check this option, it is not going to copy and paste the blank cells. It will only copy and paste the cells that have values. See what happens when I click OK, it has only changed these cells. So I have this cell that has been changed. This has been changed, but the cells that had value already, and there is a blank here in this case, those are not changed. So this could be a useful scenario where you are merging your data set and you do not want blanks to be copied on your original data set. Paste special also allows you to copy a data set and then paste the reference to that data. So let me show you how it works. Here I have this data, and let me copy this. Now I would come to this cell where I want to paste it, then open the paste special dialog box. And here I have this button called paste link. And now when I click on this button, you can see I have my pasted data. But in this case, every cell actually refers to the original cell. So this cell has the reference A1, which refers to the cell from which it was copied. So if you want to copy and paste a table where, let's say, you are creating a dashboard or a report, and you want to make this data dynamic in such a way that it is dependent on the original data, then you can use this technique. And the good thing about this is that if I come here and I change anything in any of these cells, this table that is the copied data, would automatically update. So far, I have shown you how to use paste special and then paste the data in different formats. It could be just values or formulas or formatting or transpose data, but you can also copy and paste the data as a picture. And this option is not available in the paste special dialog box. So let me show you how it works. Here I have this data. So let me copy this data and come to the cell where I want to paste this. Now, instead of these cells and these values, I actually want the picture of this data. So I would select this cell where I want to paste this, then go to the home tab, and here in the paste option, I would click on this arrow. So it shows me more options. And here in other paste options, I have this option called picture. And when I click on it, you'll see that it shows me a picture of this data. Now this is a static picture, which means that if I change the data, this picture would not automatically update. So if you quickly want to take screenshots of your data, maybe you are creating a chart and you want to take a screenshot of the chart, just select the cells and then take a picture, and it would take the pictures of the cells with everything that is in the cell. But if you want to make this dynamic, you can do that as well. So here, if I select this data, copy this, then come to this cell, and here again go to the paste options and then choose this option, which is linked picture, and I click on it. It gives me this picture, but see in the formula bar, it is now referring to the range from which it was copied, which means that this picture is actually dynamic. So if I come here and I make any changes, let's say I change the sales target value for Michael, you'll see that the picture automatically updates. So this is not data, this is a picture. You can place it anywhere, you can place it in any other worksheet, but it is still linked to this data range. So if you change anything in this data range, the picture would automatically update. It could be anything, not just values. Even if you apply specific formatting, for example, if I apply a specific formatting, make any changes, apply conditional formatting, that would be updated in the picture. Now, one area where you may find this useful is when you are creating a dashboard and you want to combine multiple different tables and charts from different sheets and put them in one sheet. Instead of actually getting them in the sheet, you can just take a picture, have it as a link picture, so it refers to the original data set, and put that in the sheet that has the dashboard. And finally, let me show you how to use paste special when you are working with charts. So here I have this data and I've created this chart using this data. Now this is a fairly useless chart, to be honest. This is actually a bad chart, but just to show you how it works, I inserted the chart and I made some changes, like I changed the color of the bars, I made a little bit of formatting changes. Now let's say I use the same data or any other data and I insert a new chart. So I go to the insert option, and here in charts, let's insert this chart. Now, if I want to copy the formatting from this chart to this new blue chart, I can do that by using paste special. So I would come here, I would copy this chart, then come here to this destination chart where I want to apply the formatting, right click, and then you will see this paste special option. And when I click on it, it opens this paste special dialog box. Now you will notice that this is a different dialog box. It does not have all the options that I had when I was showing you all the other options with the data, because now we are actually trying to apply paste special to a chart. So here you can either apply all, which means every kind of formatting. You can either just choose formats, or you can choose formats as well as formulas. Now formulas would mean that it would change the data source of the chart. In this case, I just want to paste the format. So I would click on the formats option, click OK, and you'll see that it has now changed the format of this chart, where it has made this bold, the grid lines are gone, the color of the bar charts are changed. So if you're working with a lot of charts and you want to make it consistent, you can quickly copy and then paste formatting as well. That's it in this video. I hope you found this useful. Also, if you're liking these videos, please subscribe to this YouTube channel and click on the bell icon so that you never miss out on any new Excel tips video I come up with. Thank you and have a nice day.